Hamilton.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. To ask the First Minister what the Scottish Government's response is to recent reports regarding Police Scotland's policy on self-identification for individuals charged with or convicted of serious sexual assaults.
First Minister.
Presiding Officer, the Scottish Government is clear that violence against women and girls is abhorrent. Through our Equally Safe strategy, we are aiming to prevent and tackle such violence and abuse and address the underlying attitudes and behaviours that perpetuate the violence that too many experience. It is only through fundamental societal change that women can be protected. The Chamber is well aware the Scottish Government does not determine or interfere with operational matters of Police Scotland, which is accountable to the Scottish Police Authority and not to ministers.
Rachael Hamilton.
First Minister for that answer. But in a letter to a Holyrood committee, Police Scotland said they would allow a serious sex offender to self-declare their gender. This opens the door to a grotesque situation where a male rapist can demand to be called a woman and further traumatise his victim. Echoing language of the SNP, Police Scotland said that, I quote, "This was consistent with their values and promotes a strong sense of belonging." This is an insult to the victims of rape and serious assault. The only strong sense this should inspire is disgust. Does the First Minister agree with me and women across Scotland that male rapists shouldn't get their own way? Or is he content to let another Isla Bryson situation happen?
First Minister.
Let me be absolutely crystal clear with Parliament. I have never in my life believed or will ever believe, in the words of Rachael Hamilton, that a male rapist should get his way. I will not be associated with that language. And our law and our legal framework makes that abundantly clear. Now, in relation to the specific question about the guidance from Police Scotland, these are operational matters for Police Scotland. There would be outrage if I was to interfere in the actions and the decision-making of Police Scotland, and the law is clear that I cannot do that. But I'm sure that Police Scotland will have heard the exchanges in Parliament today and will consider the issues, if there are any issues that they wish to address.
Pauline McNeill.
Behind the recording of crime statistics are real victims, such as the women who had to sit through court proceedings last year and hear their rapist referred to as a woman. I don't really think the First Minister can ignore responsibility, because Police Scotland, as said by Rachael Hamilton, has said it's consistent with their values. But I think the Government needs to be clear, is it consistent with their values? And if a message is to go from the First Minister today, does it not make a mockery of the Government's violence against women strategy if violent male offenders can present as women and this could be accepted by the police? It's that critical.
First Minister.
The Government's strategy in relation to the tackling of violence against women is absolutely crystal clear, that there is no place for violence against women in our society. Absolutely crystal clear. And the perpetrators of that violence must be confronted with their behaviour and must be held to account for their behaviour. That is the foundation of our legal system. Now, Pauline McNeill is a very experienced commentator and parliamentarian on issues in relation to justice policy. She knows that I cannot interfere in the operational business of Police Scotland. Indeed, the law prevents me from doing so. But the issues have been aired here in Parliament today, and Police Scotland will have the opportunity to consider them.
Regan.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. Just to further underline this issue that we're discussing, stories have actually been running in the media this year discussing the increase in women committing sex crimes, when the reality, of course, is that these crimes are committed by men and they are being recorded as women's crimes. This is offensive to women, and it is grossly disrespectful to the victims of these crimes. So why are Scottish institutions still acting as if self-ID is the law when it is not? Institutions, however, do have legal obligations through the public sector equality duty to record sex accurately. Will the First Minister show leadership and address this horrible situation urgently?
First Minister.
Presiding Officer, in the last published year of data for which data is available, 21-22, all convictions of rape or attempted rape were perpetrated by males. That's a statement of fact in relation to the most recent data that's available. I acknowledge the concerns that are being expressed in Parliament today, but I come back to the fundamental point that the recording of information on those committing crime is an operational matter for Police Scotland. They must be accountable for the decisions that they take, and it is not for the First Minister to interfere or specify in operational matters of Police Scotland.